Weird. How you guys doing? Welcome once again to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and it's once again time to dive into the strange and unusual depths of the Paranormal Portal, and we'll dig up all of the weirdness we can pack into 2 hours. 2 full hours, folks. Because, what day is it? It's hump day. And we have to have a celebratory 2-hour show to talk about that, because by God, we're always celebrating hump day, because that's like just over halfway to the weekend. So Grandizer says, I went to turn on Coast to Coast. It scrolled off the screen. I went to turn on Coast to Coast AM, and I must have missed the interview. They were talking about the Artemis mission, or now canceled. Yeah, that was the first 2 hours of the show, was dealing with that. I was on the next 2 hours. So it was a 4-hour show totally. The first 2 hours was a different gentleman dealing with space travel and the moon and such. And then there was my segment, which was the last 2 hours. And it was a great time. If you aren't familiar with what the hell I'm talking about, last night from midnight until 2 a.m. Pacific time, whatever that means to where you are, I was on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, and had a wonderful time. I really enjoyed it. George is such a fantastic guy, and it was very gracious of him to have me on. What type of paranormal show is this? It's kind of a variety show, Troy. We cover all kinds of things from ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, strange phenomena, and we like to have a good time doing it. We don't do the dark, creepy. And next, we'll get into the ghost stories. I don't do all that because this stuff is dark enough as it is. We just like to have a good time. This is a great community. Hopefully, you take a look around and you decide you want to be a part of it, Troy. But thank you for stopping in, and thanks for having a look. Having a look under the hood just to see what the hell's going on here. But yeah, I was on Coast to Coast last night. Oh, thank you, Troy. I hope you enjoy yourself. Make yourself at home, grab a libation, kick your feet up, lower the lights, and enjoy the musings of the Paranormal Portal. I don't know. That's as romantic as I can get. Yeah, you were on the right place, Grandizer, but you just didn't wait long enough. But it was a late show. I was on midnight till 2, so that's pretty late night for most people. But there was plenty of people listening, I guess. There was a lot of call-ins, and I had a wonderful time. So special thanks to the Coast to Coast crew and George himself for having me on. Lisa, the executive producer, was wonderful and helping to set everything up. So I really enjoyed myself, and yeah, I would love to. I would go back anytime, really. I hope I did good, though. That's the thing, It's one of those interviews that can make or break you, I guess, because you can either be like, "Hey, did you hear that great interview on Coast to Coast last night?" Or, "Hey, did you hear that idiot they had on Coast to Coast last night?" And so I'm hoping people took away the first one after my segment. I think I did all right. There was some call-ins that were a little, I wouldn't say they were tough, but there was quite a few people that called in with very Christian-centric viewpoints, and that's a double tough thing for me, because I do love all religions. I love people's views and their pursuits, to get in touch with the divine. I think that's wonderful. But I don't necessarily agree with all the tenets of it. I don't take it or leave it, but I think religion is a very personal journey for each person, and it means very personal things for everybody. And some people are very literal and to the book, and other people are more guidelines, and I don't know where I'm at in it. I go all different ways, I guess, but it's hard to negate the points of somebody's faith and religion and not insult them in the process, or make myself look like a jerk. So, those are tough questions to handle. I just respect everybody's pursuit to their own religious truth and whatever resonates with them, and hope that they, find their their faith. I think that's wonderful. So, but I had a great time, and I really am grateful to have done it. Yesterday I did 3 different shows. I started out the day doing a pre-record with Eric Mintel out of Pennsylvania, Bucks County area. he did a pre-record with me as his guest. We did that first, and then yesterday I was thinking, oh, it's Tuesday. I got time to kill before Coast to Coast, obviously. So I reached out to Jesse Wilkins over on Hometown Ghost Stories and said, hey, Jesse, you guys going live? He goes, and he writes back and says, yeah, we're going to be live at, which would have been 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I was like, oh, you know what? Nobody sent me the link. And he goes, he responds, he responded like, oh, oops. And I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I was just joking. I'm just going to be hanging out, but I wondered if you guys were going live. He goes, well, screw it. I'm gonna send you the link. And so I ended up going on to Hometown Ghost Stories yesterday and doing their show with them as well. So that was a lot of fun. It was just meant to be a joke, but it turned into actually me co-hosting with those guys. So that was a lot of fun. I love hanging out with Hometown Ghost Stories. They're just wonderful guys. And then, of course, the 2-hour Coast to Coast much later in the night. So it was a kind of a marathon day, but it was really cool. So, yeah, I good. Yeah, Troy, I don't know if you listened last night, but I was on there. And thank you, Barbara. I see, Brent, you sounded like a pro. That's good. I'm glad because I walked away from that going, God, I hope I did good. It's like sometimes you get done with an interview and you're like, yeah, that felt good. And then other times you're like, was that a good one or not? So I hope so. I'm not here fishing for compliments or anything. I mean, if it sucked, it sucked. There's nothing I can do about it. I just did the best I could. I hope I represented myself in the show well. But at any rate, that was the experience. Pickle and Peanut Butter 256. Ghosts are real, so everything is possible. Amen. Absolutely. I agree. Got a lot of those experiences. I'm going to listen immediately after the show. Oh, thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. Again, Troy, if you do, let me know how I did. I mean, honest to God, I just want people's honest feedback. I hope I did well, but again, I'm not going to belabor this. It was fun. It was a really good experience, and I'm really grateful to have been on there. So, that's kind of the inside baseball, I guess, as Dark Waters always says. Before we get started here, but we got a lot. Oh, thank you, Troy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, be kind, though. Don't write me and go, dude, you sucked. Oh, that would be a heartbreaker. But no, I hope it went good. Drop the darn link, Brent Thomas. I would, Grandizer, but I don't know the link to Coast to Coast. The problem with Coast to Coast is that a lot of their stuff is behind a paywall. You got to be a member to check out other episodes until they eventually release them on YouTube or, their podcast or however that works. But, I mean, you can listen to the live as it's happening, but after that, I think it goes behind a paywall. I'm not sure, but at any rate, thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. So I'd give you a link to it if I could, but I don't know how people can listen to it without being a member. If there's some other way, I don't know. I'm just not that familiar with it. So anyway, but I hope that Coast to Coast AM is that segment on their YouTube channel soon. They have some shows on there. Yeah, they do. I don't know what their schedule is for releasing from live show to the YouTube, what kind of window that is. I don't know. But just, if I find out that it gets posted, I'll let you guys know. The best way to probably get that notice, if I get it, is for you to follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio or facebook.com/Paranormal Peeps is PEEPS is the Paranormal Portal fans page on Facebook. So those are the options. Question, if you had a choice, would you have 1 year to live or be abducted by aliens right now and see what happens? Well, I guess if I had those two choices, I'd probably just go with the aliens, to be honest with you, Pickle. 1 year is not a lot of time, man. As I get older, 1 year just goes in a blink. It's like, man, where did the last 5 years go? I don't even know. So, Henry Dong, how you doing? Good to see you. Tried to stay awake from coast to coast yesterday, but fell asleep. No worries, man. I just appreciate your efforts. Thank you, guys, and thank you for the love and support. I think they're an imprint in time. Yeah, could be. All right. So anyway, let's get to the news, which is coming up next. Then we'll get into another article dealing with some UFO stuff, and then we're going to dive into the cryptids. So I hope you guys are all ready. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to get you as informed as I can get you in the course of this show. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Tommy Cooper. Good to see you. Tommy Cooper, of course, one of the creators of Cryptovania. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. And Barbara says over in Rumble, she said, I had nightmares post the first interview I did. Very true story. Yeah, I mean, it can shake things up. And, you know, just the old memory holes reopen as you're reliving these events and talking about them. It can kind of bring it all back to the surface, but... You know, I understand completely. I guess I don't experience that so much but I can understand it. So, all right, welcome to the news desk, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to dive into some news stories, and some of them might actually be paranormal, but hopefully they're all interesting, and hopefully there are things you might not have heard before. So, but they're all allegedly true. There's no fake news here. Just saying. That's not what we do here in the portal, but we're going to start out the news. As I pull this article over to get started, just want to mention, as I do every show, we utilize a lot of different sites throughout the journey into the paranormal portal, and these sites are exceptionally fantastic. And I can only encourage you guys, please visit these sites. Please support what they're doing. They're all doing an incredible job, and your visits, your traffic really does help to pay the bills for them. Hosting a successful site is extraordinarily expensive, surprisingly, and you know, your visits will help them earn revenue through their ads and stuff. So please do that, and I know you're going to enjoy all these sites anyway. If you're hanging out here on the show, you'll like all this weird, wacky stuff anyway. And I'm not saying that in a cheeky manner. I mean, the paranormal is weird. I don't know how else to say it. That doesn't mean I don't believe it's true. I definitely do. I've experienced many things myself, but definitely support these sites. They're working hard, and we definitely want to keep them afloat as much as we can and endorse them as much as we can throughout the course of the shows. So, all right, the first site that we're going to be visiting for the news is a site that I've come to know and love and rely heavily on for the news. These guys are doing an exceptional job, and this is, of course, unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is, you know what? Hold on a sec. I got to shut my door. I decided to try to leave it open because my studio turns into a sweatbox, but I got my Alexa out there just humming away, and it's distracting as hell. So just give me a sec. One sec. Oh, much better. Much better. All right, there we go. Now I can hear better. I don't have the sound of Native American flutes ringing in my ear. I like that mellow music. It kind of keeps me all tuned, I guess. All right, the first article is kind of a disturbing one, actually. I know that, you know, the pressure of competition, especially on the upper echelons of competition, has to be absolutely extreme. People want to win. They want to get the title. They want to retain the championship or whatever. And so it can cause people to do some pretty horrible things. And this story is no exception, ladies and gentlemen, because coming from unexplained-mysteries.com is our first article. And this is a real Lulu here. It said Russian chess player filmed smearing poison on opponent's pieces. It's like, what? What? I'll take the win any way I can. That's horrible. That's horrible. Let's see what's going on. A prominent Russian chess player is under criminal investigation following an apparent poisoning attempt. Chess can be a tough game, especially when you're playing against some of the world's best players at a tournament which is perhaps why one prominent player recently decided to enact a devilish plot designed to take her opponent out of the game without actually having to beat them. According to reports, video footage captured the moment Amina, well, that's a hell of a name, Abakarova, okay. Amina Abakarova tried to poison her opponent by smearing mercury from a thermometer onto the pieces. Oh, dear God. The tournament itself took place in the Caucasus Republic of Dagestan. Unsurprisingly, Abakarova now faces not only criminal charges, but also a permanent ban from chess, pending the outcome of the police investigation into her actions. Her rival, whatever that name is, I'm sorry, I just don't want to brutalize it. Uma, we'll call it Uma, did in fact handle the poison pieces and later fell ill, which is what prompted officials to look back at the footage in the first place. As a result, during the game, Osmanova's health worsened and she required medical attention, said Dagestan's sports minister Sazid Sazidov. I don't know. However, no one else was hurt. At the moment, the lives of the participants and guests at the competition are not in danger. Like many others, I'm perplexed by what happened. And this is from ABC News, which is giving us this clip, so let's check it out. You can see her doing it.
Now to the player under investigation and facing possible criminal charges for allegedly poisoning her rival. James Longman has that story for us. James, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Whit. This is like something straight out of a movie. A chess champion is accused of trying to poison her opponent by turning the pieces on the board into chemical weapons.
The Queen's Gambit may have been a Netflix hit.
No player in the world is gifted as you are. There is one player that scares me.
Oh, God. Let me do this before I get a copyright strike for the clip. All right, let's continue. Finish.
For taking the battle off the board. Amina Abakarova is accused of poisoning her opponent's pieces during a tournament in Russia. Security video posted by the Russian Chess Federation allegedly captures her spraying a substance containing mercury on one of the boards before play began. The unlucky victim falling ill soon after touching the poisoned pieces, suffering from shortness of breath. Mercury poisoning can cause tremors, headaches, muscle weakness, and breathing difficulties. Abakarova now
and death. They forgot death. All right.
Faces jail time, along with a lifetime ban from competition. The sports minister in charge of the chess championship saying, "I'm perplexed by what happened. The actions she committed could have led to the saddest outcome. They threatened the lives of everyone who was in the chess house, including herself."
Well, there you got it. Rather than listen to the wrap up, there you go. I mean, she was caught. Unfortunately, the other lady did get sick. Hopefully she makes a full recovery. Doesn't have any lasting damage or whatever, but oh my God, for a game of chess. And granted, this is professional level, so I'm sure it's much more, there's much more gravity to it. It's not like just going down to the park and rolling chess with some strangers. I mean, these people probably make their living this way. And of course, being a champion's a huge thing. It's just really tragic though. I mean, I understand you want to win, but maybe just practice more. I don't know. Anyway, there you have it. That's the first story. It's disturbing as hell, though. It's really disturbing as hell. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, just crazy stuff. All right. But that's the first story. I don't know what you guys think. I think that's pretty wild stuff. Let's go to the next one. There's more. There's always more. I've got, in fact, two more stories for you for the news tonight. And the first story, or the second story, rather, if it, that's my browser is all hung up here. Here we go. All right, here it goes. My computer's just being a brick lately. I don't know what's going on, folks. All right. So the next one is coming. What the hell did I do there? Oh, yeah, this one was fine. But what the hell is this? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got both of them pulled. I pulled both of them by accident. Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell I did. I had a lag spike on my computer, and suddenly two windows were out of place. So I've got it sorted out now. So the next one comes from unexplained-mysteries.com. This one's kind of cool, and I got a kind of a cool story, a personal story about this kind of thing happening to me. But anyway, let's check it out, because according to unexplained-mysteries.com, beachgoers end up in the middle of a huge swarm of dragonflies. Whoa, that's a lot of dragonflies. Numbering in the hundreds of thousands, the insects filled the air on a beach in Rhode Island recently. And there's no denying that dragonflies are quite impressive insects. Their large size, distinctive coloration, and unusual body shape have long made them a point of study and intrigue. Well, that said, encountering hundreds of thousands of them at once would be less than a desirable prospect. Nevertheless, such a scenario became reality for hundreds of beachgoers on Misquamicut, I guess, State Beach in Rhode Island last month, when an enormous swarm of the insects suddenly descended upon them. All people could do was wait things out as the dragonflies filled the air around them, and some could be seen trying to swat the insects away, while others grabbed their phones to take video footage and pictures of the phenomena. And it's believed that warm ocean temperatures and wind may have forced the insects to the shore. You can check out some of the footage of the swarm below. Well, I think we should do that. This is from WCVB Channel 5 Boston. Let's check out what these people experienced. I want to pull up the window, make sure I'm high enough here. There we go. All right, let's check it out. Oh, wow.
Dragonflies. My God.
Wow.
My God. Look at that.
This is serious.
Wow, that's a lot of dragonflies. That's a lot of dragonflies. I didn't ever experience anything like that, but I do have a true story that happened to me. And I love dragonflies, and this is actually the time that I became a huge fan of them. And what it was is I was I think 18 or 19 years old, and my friend and I had taken my car up to his parents' cabin that was in northern Wisconsin, up in just in the sticks up there. And it was a beautiful cabin in this beautiful lake, crystal clear water, and it was just an amazing summer day. So we had driven 3 hours to get up there, and we were hot and sweaty, and we decided, you know what, let's go for a swim and swim out to that flotation. There's like a floating dock thing out there, or a floating platform. So we swam out there, and we're sitting there, and I don't know if you've ever been in the north woods of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan. I don't know if this is everywhere or not, but it's just where I've experienced these things. There are these swarms of horseflies. And now these flies are literally about the size of a dime or a nickel. I mean, they're huge. And when they sting you and when they bite you, it really hurts. And so we're out there. I mean, we're just drying off as we're sitting in the sun, just relaxing, just all mellow. And all of a sudden, this swarm of horseflies comes. And these things are huge, and they're aggressive, and they're everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, we just driven 3 hours to get up here, and now we're just getting mobbed by these things. It's just miserable. And we're thinking, oh my God, we got to go in. And I was just feeling distraught. I was just stressed and distraught. And suddenly, like a cloud of dragonflies came out of nowhere. And it was like air-to-air combat as they went through and systematically ate every one of these dragonflies, or every one of these horseflies, just catching them and devouring them in the air. And it was just like, oh my God. And until there were none left. There were no horseflies left. And then the dragonflies just went, and were gone. It was this beautiful moment again. And it's like, wow, I now love dragonflies. And so, true story. And also, if you're into the Fae, a lot of people that are into the Fae would say that dragonflies might be Fae. Like disguised Fae. So you never know. I don't know. They don't bite. Yeah, they don't bite. So dragonflies will not bite you. They will eat the hell out of bugs, though. And they're wonderful to have around. So definitely, I realize kids freak out when they see bugs. I have some horrible memories of freaking out myself with these things we called scoplotches. They're basically mayflies that live 24 hours, but back in Minnesota, they hatch in the billions. They're literally, the trees are black and pulled down with these mayflies and stuff. And the first time I ever saw them, we were camping, and I woke up in the morning and these things were everywhere. They came out of nowhere, and I made a beeline to the car and locked myself in there. It was like 90-degree day, and I locked in there and windows rolled up and wouldn't let anybody in. And I stayed in there for quite a while, but then when I finally came out, it was fine. But anyway, that's my dragonfly story. I love dragonflies, but I can understand that's a lot of dragonflies. So crazy stuff. All right, that's the second story, and I got one more for you because that's how we roll here on the portal. They come in threes. And the third story is this one. This one is kind of more religious. So, you know, for those of you that have a Christian ideology and stuff, you'll probably appreciate this. I think it's beautiful, but you be the judge. Here we go. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Archaeology and history. Archaeologists unearth lost temple where Jesus performed miracles. That's pretty crazy. Where is this? The ruins of the temple were discovered unexpectedly during the excavation of a synagogue in Israel. And according to the New Testament, Jesus had once performed a number of miracles, including healing the sick at a temple in the ancient Israeli city of Chorazin. I'm sorry. Again, my pronunciation is brutal, so I apologize if I'm just killing that word. But the remains of a synagogue dating back to 380 AD were found in the region back in 1905, and while pilgrims have long traveled there, no evidence of the original temple had ever been found. Now, though, recent excavations at the site have finally revealed the discovery of a much older temple. Buried underneath that is thought to be the one at which Jesus performed his miracles. While dating this older temple has proven challenging, pottery fragments and other artifacts found inside are now believed to date back to the 1st century AD. Wow. This would put the temple at exactly the correct time and place to be the genuine article. This is a groundbreaking discovery, said lead archaeologist Achia Cohen-Taver. I've been excavating all over the globe, and for me, it's definitely one of the most important excavations I've ever directed. A video detailing the excavations can be viewed below. Well, there you go. I don't know how long this video is. I don't want to. This is from Sergio and Rhoda in Israel. And it is 23 minutes. I guess we can click through this a little bit if it catches up with us. We're going to get an ad here, though. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll put a link to this if anybody wants to learn more about this. You can check out the video for yourself and learn more about it. Putting it in the chats right now. So I think it's fantastic. I think that's very powerful because it definitely reinforces the stories that are in the Bible. If that's your purview, then that is a very strong testament to validating the faith. So very cool stuff. But there you have it. I guess they found one of the temples. Cool. Good stuff. And other than that, I think that's going to about wrap up the news. I hope you guys learned something, heard something, picked up something you might not have known before. Gotta love nature. You do gotta love nature, Justin. How you doing? Good to see ya. Dog Digger, good to see ya. Barbara Mora over on Rumble. I see HB Girl to You is over there. That's Lucky Gypsy. She's hanging out in Rumble and in Twitch. And then all of you over on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight and being a part of it. This has been a production of the Paranormal Portal, and this is the news. So hopefully you feel more informed than you did. And let's get back to the rest of the show. All right, here we go. Hi, Karen. How you doing? Great articles. Thank you, Ozzy. Appreciate that, brother. All right. Well, how about that? You know, I think I'm going to, since I always forget to do it, I think I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do just a shout outs. Oh, whoops. I want to go back here. I want to do this first. Pop out. There we go. I want to do some shout outs to the YouTube audience. You guys have always been here for a long time. Many shows. You guys are always here, and I rarely shout out. I usually shout out at the beginning of the show when for people are first coming in for a bit, but I want to do it now to see who's chatting. So if you want to shout out in the YouTube chat, please type something so that I see your name, because right now the list is pretty small. Not that you need to, but I'm just saying if you want to, that's how you do it. All right, the list is populating. I see more names popping up. Good to see it, but I'm just going to give it another second here. Troy, I'm the rookie. That's all right, Troy. Everybody started out a rookie here. Don't worry. You'll be a regular here in no time. You'll be like our Norm in Cheers. We'll be like, Troy, you come in. All right, so the names that are showing up so far, not a lot, but then again, there's several of you out there watching, but not a lot of typing. That's okay. Annie Manula is first. She was the first one in the door, as a matter of fact. Excuse me. Audio's here. Good to see you. Aussie Tiger, how you doing? From Down Under. Barbara Moore is here. Grandizer's here. Grateful Owl is here. Karen Alberding is here. Maggie M10, one of our brave mods. The other brave mod that's here currently is Rachel Gets It Right. Good to see you. Troy Diaz, Vincent Sanchez, and Wizard Moon. That's what I got. So good to see you. Barbara Mora popped over into the YouTubes as well. Good to see you. Unless I already said that, but I know you're over on the Rumble as well. Congratulations, Karen. What happened? What did you do, Karen? I'm going to be the big 68 tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Karen. You're a wonderful person. Yeah, we have great mods here. We really do, but we have a great chat community. It's like I've I've been on several channels throughout my years of combing through YouTube, and there's some real pricks out there. But I don't know, they don't last long here. If they do come, they show up and maybe start spouting off some trash, and the mods are all over it. And of course, you guys are always wonderful at hammering those people too. So I think, it's sunlight's the best disinfectant, right? So there you go. People just know to, be on your best behavior here. Be on your best behavior. Let's restore that over there. Okay, good. So there we go. Happy birthday again, Karen. That's wonderful. I hope you have a fantastic day of celebrating. However you're celebrating, even if you don't do anything, just make sure to spoil yourself a little bit, because we love you here. All right, we're not needed, really. Let's not jinx it. Shh. Yeah, well, that's because we just have a family here. I mean, honest to God, you guys have been with me forever, and that's been wonderful. I just love turning on the lights and seeing all of these familiar faces and names coming through. And I love when I see new names like you, Troy, so welcome. And anybody else out there that's new to the channel, thank you for checking it out, and we hope you'll subscribe and become part of the team as well. All right, I promised you some more. So by God, I got more. Let's get to it. Let's get to what's more. What is more? Here we go. I don't know if this one's weird or not. I pulled up this one. This one's a UFO situation. I'm not familiar with it at all. This is coming from howandwise.com. And this is another one of those great sites. It's been championed by a gentleman named Vicky Verma. And he is a gentleman. His name is Vicky, which, over here in the West, that's not real common. But the guy is really pretty incredible. He's very prolific, as far as submitting and recording articles for years on this How and Wise channel. He does a hell of a job. So if you're into the UFO phenomena, I really recommend going to howandwise.com. Check out his articles. He's got historical things. He's got cutting edge stuff. I mean, he's just really, really good at what he does. So I can't recommend it enough. And I enjoy covering his articles here on the show. They're just really, really well written. So let's get to this. This is dealing with, and it's again an unusual name. I think it's Peter Khoury. is what it looks like to me. And this is what it is. Oh, no. And it's not that time yet. Sorry. Whoops, I started again. There it is. Peter Coury abduction. Mystery of blonde alien woman. Hair found on his body in 1992. So this is a brand new one to me, even though this article was written 2 years ago. It was last updated this March, as a matter of fact, at 6:14 a.m., according to the headline or the header here. So it's that's what's also neat is that this Vicky Verba does constantly update the articles. Oh, thank you, Flip Dizzies. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I my chat doesn't show me, as you can see on the screen, it doesn't show me the emojis and stuff, but that's really cute. Peter, it says pair character exaggeratingly stretching his arms forward to offer a cup of coffee. Well, God bless you. Everybody loves coffee. I definitely start every day with a pot of coffee. It's kind of my nectar of the gods every morning. So, all right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your kindness. It's a pair. What did I say? I thought I said pair character. I thought I read it right. Did I say it wrong? I'm sorry, Maggie. I do see it says pair, but if you look on your, oh, it says super sticker on there. Isn't that weird? I don't get it that way. It doesn't come up with super sticker, although I know it's a super sticker. But blueberry coffee is great. That sounds good, actually. I'm actually drinking a Kona coffee right now. And I love Kona coffee because it's not as acidic. It's just really, really rich and robust, but it's not like you don't get that sour stomach feeling that you do from some coffees. It's just, I love the stuff. It's not really easy to get, but when I get it, I'm always really thrilled because Kona coffee is the stuff. But I would say blueberry coffee sounds awesome. I've never tried that. Coffee is human juice, Annie says. I think Kona is the best. You're right, Annie. I'll have to show you the bag of, it's like Buddha bean or something like that is the bag. And I get the beans and I grind them up myself. So they're as fresh as I can make them. But it's so good. Oh my God. Every morning it's like a cup of warm love going down my throat. That sounded weird, but I don't know. It's a romantic experience for me every morning. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Anyway, I got a microphone so you get to hear it all. I love coffee, black coffee only. Yeah, me too, Maggie. Yeah, I'm not much into, or Karen said that. Yeah, black-eyed beans. Yeah, I got you. How do I send you Kona coffee, Brent? If you want to send me Kona coffee, you can do it by, you can do it through, well, if you want, I'll put an address in here. Anybody wants to send me anything, you can do it this way. Just send it to Paranormal Portal, P.O. Box 483, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. That is the way to send me stuff if you ever want to send me stuff. That's the best way to do it. I'll copy and put it in Rumble too, because you never know. Somebody over in Rumble might be just itching to send me something, as long as it doesn't make me sick, or as long as it's sent with love, I guess. Fan mail, absolutely, Grandizer. I love fan mail. I've gotten many things sent to me from you guys, and some wonderful works of art that are now displayed over here off camera. I love them. They're awesome. But it's something to look at every time I come in. Paranormal Portal, is Minion allowed a boomerang? Absolutely. Absolutely, he's allowed a boomerang. I don't know if you'll get it. It might end up in the studio, but he's allowed it. I didn't say he's allowed to throw a boomerang, but he's allowed to have a boomerang for sure. Actually, you know what? I love those. What are those things that they whip around on a string? They're like a bull roar or something like that. I don't remember what they're called, but from Australia, I love those things. Like, woo, woo, woo. Those things are really cool. And truth be told, I think I became familiar with it through Crocodile Dundee. But, you know, I'm somebody from America, Midwest. I didn't have a lot of worldly exposure. So Crocodile Dundee introduced that to me. But yeah. Yeah, telephone. Yeah, those things. I always love those things. It's like, wow, those sound so cool. Anyway, yep, psychos gotta stick together. Yeah, Brent, when you get a package that you know is coming from a fan, do you open it while live? Yeah. I mean, I may pre-open it to make sure I don't open it wrong. I might pre-open it, but if you send me instructions that, look, I want you to open this on camera, I will do that. But I always show you guys what I've opened and what you've sent. So if you look at, and I couldn't tell you what episodes, but I've gotten many packages through the years, and I do show you guys. I mean, that's very cool. I love that. That's amazing. All right, so let's get to this article. Peter Corey abduction, mystery of blonde alien woman, hair found on his body in 1992. On his body. Is he dead? Doesn't sound good. It's like, well, maybe it's just a descriptor. But anyway, Peter Corey's case is the first alien abduction where an alien specimen was found on a human body. Revealed in a DNA test, he was born in Lebanon in 1964 and in 1973 migrated to Australia, where he met his future wife, Vivian, in 1981. And the couple married later in 1990, and they have 2 children. Well, good for you, Peter. Peter's first encounter with a UFO happened when he was only 7 years old. It was the summer of 1971, and he was playing with 7 other children when all of them decided to go to a rooftop. Well, as he came there, an egg-shaped UFO was hovering above other children who were standing like a statue. After some time gap, all the children found themselves on the ground floor with no memory of the incident. The next encounter happened in February 1988 when Peter and Vivian were in Sydney. Well, that time they saw strange moving lights, but the incident that happened later in July completely changed Peter's life. It was around 11 p.m. Peter was staying with his family, and that night his brother Sam invited him to watch a movie in his room. Well, Peter lay in his bedroom, but what happened next was completely frightening. As he was laying on the bed, he felt a paralysis in his whole body and could move only his eyes. Ooh, I don't like that. I've experienced some form of sleep paralysis and experienced it for not every night, but for a period of 2 years. And it was horrible. I actually had to learn how to break out of it. And once I learned that, then it was no longer a problem. But God, I know what it's like to feel absolutely helpless and you can't do anything. It's a horrible feeling. While lying on my bed, I felt something grab my ankles. And as I felt this, a strange numbness, tingling, and churning sensation crawled up through my body and right up to my head. I was paralyzed. I could not move any part of my body but for the exception of my eyes, which I could move, open, or close. My brain was functioning, but I could not do anything physically. I tried to call out to family members, but I could not force the words out. And at this stage, I started to panic, thinking I would not walk again. I thought I was truly paralyzed. As the experience unfolded, Peter's first thought was that this was a form of payback, a punishment for the less than satisfactory life that he had led for about 6 years before he returned to the family fold. He thought if he survived this, that his community would think God's punishing him. God paid him back. What followed, the encounter with the hooded 3 to 4 foot tall creatures with black wrinkled faces, changed everything. The fear was so extreme. I'm gone. I'm dead. It's real. I was petrified and paralyzed. Irrational fears were crowding in. They were going to kill me. I could be killed. The fear level was extraordinary, and I was stressing out. How could I get out of this? I became aware of some sort of communication, seemingly telepathic. No sound made, yet I could hear the message in my mind, and I was told not to worry and I would not be harmed, and to relax. Well, as I moved my eyes and looked to the left side, I made eye contact with two beings who looked so different to the others. These were thin, tall, with big black eyes and a narrow chin, and they were goldish yellow in color. Astonishingly, the stress was gone immediately. The whole fear thing washed away as quickly as a light switch on. How could I be so calm after such a level of fear? My heartbeat was no longer racing. A whole different situation was unfolding. Peter said he saw 3 to 4 foot tall creatures with black wrinkled faces around him, and he communicated with the aliens telepathically. He heard them saying that they would not harm him, and even made eye contact with 2 of them. And Peter even noticed that one alien was male and the other was female.
Moon.
Wearing masks. How about that? The ghost box said moon. This is the ghost box down here, folks. If you're seeing this, it said moon. That's interesting. Wonder why it said moon. That's kind of relevant when you're dealing with alien stuff, right? That's a little cool. Again, I'm not saying it's paranormal, but it's kind of relevant in a disjointed way. Okay, moon. What else do you got to say, ghost box? Anything good? What do you think of aliens? Why don't you let us know? We're going to continue on. It says one of them inserted a needle into his head and he blacked out. Peter described him as tall and thin with large black eyes in the golden yellow suit. Well, after he regained consciousness, he found out that the creatures had also drugged his family members. Further, he thought that only 10 minutes had passed, but in reality, it was 1 to 2 hours. Well, they were going to work. Well, after this, Peter was totally petrified and had no clue what to do next. He even had surgical marks on his head, which could prove his encounter with aliens. He had not much knowledge about alien abductions and struggled to understand them. Eventually, he understood about the abduction experiences, jumped into the world of ufology, and started a group named UFO Experience Support Association. And he continued helping other victims who claimed to encounter aliens, but his personal experiences weren't done. It says did not finish, but that's like, I think we can say that a little better. Weren't over, maybe, is better. On July 23rd, 1992, he came home after dropping off his wife at the train station. It was around 7 a.m., and he was not feeling very well, as he had got head injuries during an assault at the job site. So he decided to go to bed and get some sleep, and Peter felt something alighting on the bed, and as he got up, he was shocked to see 2 strange women kneeling near his bed. It's not what you normally find in your bedroom, especially if you're guys. He described one had the appearance of a Nordic with an elongated face, big blue eyes, and a sharply pointed chin, and the other one looked like an Asian. Well, I got the shock of my life because right on top of me was this female, a blonde female. She was just milky white in color. Her eyes were probably 2 or 3 times bigger than human eyes, and she had protruding cheekbones and a narrow face that narrowed down to a pointy chin. And on the side of the bed, on the corner of the bed, there was another female, an Asian-looking female, and then she, the blonde female, touches her stomach and points to the sky. It's pretty unusual. Although no normal communication occurred, the Nordic woman seemed to be in charge, and Corey got the impression she was giving the Asian-looking woman some sort of instruction. Well, she was 6 feet tall and very strong. Oh, really? God, I need that. I need the news music again. She tried to copulate with Peter by pulling him towards her chest, but he resisted and even bit her, which made him cough. Moments later, he looked up again, but both women had vanished. God. Well, I'm not saying this is impossible. I'm not saying that at all, but it's just not the way I thought this story was going to go. It does look like Pam Anderson. You're right. Maybe that explains a lot. I'm not sure here. What is this then? Winona Ryder? I don't know what's going on here then. Anyway, the coughing stimulated him to go to the bathroom and drink water, and after that, he tried urinating and found blonde hair on the genitalia of that Nordic woman. He kept the hair in a plastic bag. I'm not trying to laugh. I just didn't know it was going this way. In the plastic bag with the seal. Peter refrained himself, telling Vivian about it for 2 weeks, although she'd been very supportive of him for the 1988 abduction. In 1996, Harvard psychiatrist John Mack did a hypnotic regression on Peter to understand what had happened to him in 1988. Under hypnosis, Peter said that he was taken to a room full of lights. He was on the table with one creature above him, but could not find out more than that because of the bizarre and controversial nature of the 1992 episode. Peter was more comfortable describing his 1988 experience. Because of the 1988 and 1992 experiences, Peter's case was widely discussed and came into the knowledge of UFO researcher Bill Chalker, and he began an investigation into the case and did the world's first PCR polymerase chain reaction DNA test on the hair sample. The test showed that the hair was biologically close to human genetics, but came from an unusual human race, probably a rare Chinese Mongoloid type. Could Peter Curry's July 1988 encounter be an example of the well-established phenomenon known as sleep paralysis? John O'Neill, a member of Australian skeptics, argued that sleep paralysis could explain the paralysis Peter Curry experienced. Hallucination could explain his experience with extraterrestrials. Falling asleep could explain his missing time, and the puncture wound and scab could be from anything. Wow, Jesus. Well, this is a very supportive man, John O'Neill. A pimple, an insect bite, or anything else in approximately the right location. O'Neill accepted that Peter's experience was genuine, as he himself had a sleep paralysis episode, but his experience was typically vague, like most sleep paralysis episodes. The feeling of some other entity being in the room, but I did not know and could not see what. The vague description falls far short of the detailed and ordered description Peter Curry offers in his experience. Several aspects of Peter's encounter actually defy this simplistic categorization. First of all, he wasn't asleep, nor had he reached the state that precedes sleep, the hypnagogic state, that often yields fleeting imagery of a hallucinatory nature. And furthermore, his experience has an ordered sequence of events that were recollected consciously. They were not vague sensory experiences of fragmented sleep. Then there were the physical marks, namely the injury to his head, where he felt the strange needle being stuck in, along with the biopsy-like mark on his leg, which certainly can't be accounted for as a classic sleep paralysis episode, or as a product of the sleep/awake interface that spawns hypnagogic imagery. Well, there you go. The article would not have finished. Wish Don was here. Yeah, Don would have ate this one up. He would have been all over it in probably a very disruptive way. But yeah, I don't know why I don't know. You try to understand, what is this like? So you wake up and you got blue Pam Anderson on you. Yeah, I mean, do you just go for a bite? Is that where did that come from? Or was that just I don't like this, no, bad touch, I'm going to bite you because that's all I got? I don't know. This is very strange. I do remember hearing about this. I didn't remember the name Peter Curry, but this event, I think, is pretty well known in ufology and UFO circles. And it's a strange one. I didn't know about the hair, though. I did not know that the hair was tested as, similar, very, very genetically similar to human, but not quite, or something a bit different. But anyway, I'm blue. Yeah, absolutely, Maggie. Don't get that in my head. Jeez, now that's going to be there. I don't want that in my head. I'm susceptible to earworms in that way. So, God, it's in there now. No, I didn't want that. I got to think of something else. But it's an interesting case. I don't know. You be the judge. Again, the portal is never about convincing you of anything. We just cover stories and have discussions about this stuff. And, I don't know. If you think there's some merit to it, then fantastic. If you think it's a bunch of bunk, then fantastic. It really doesn't matter to me either way. I just love talking about this strangeness and exploring ideas. That's what the scope of the show is. So, what do you guys think? Pretty crazy, right? Sure, he resisted. Justin. I know, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, you got Blue Pam Anderson cooking on you, and it's like, I don't know, where do you go with that? I mean, I don't want to sound like a pig, but I mean, what do you do? I guess it didn't go well, apparently. I don't know, maybe mission accomplished, maybe not. Maybe it was an original Minuteman. I don't know what's cooking there. I don't know. I just don't know. There's so much more to this story, I'm sure, than we're hearing. Some details probably weren't released. Please don't do that. What are you doing to me? Maybe he said that. Apparently he took a bite, though. I don't know where that came in. It's like, I guess if all you can move is your mouth, then that's maybe what you use. But it sounds like he was pretty stressed. You say, please leave. Yeah, that's where, you don't bite people. You just, hey, stop, please. That's not good. Bad touch. Stop. Oh, no. Well, anyway, I all I can say is there you have it. I don't know. It's a strange report. Again, the hair is new to me. The fact that it was tested, came up similar to human, but not quite, is very, very interesting. But you be the judge. But I'll tell you what, it's time for the creatures, the cryptids, the strange beings. What happened? Was there one on the screen? I see so whenever you're looking at the ghost radar, folks, and you see these squiggly lines like this, and I'm moving my mouse on it, that means it's picking up something. Now, again, if you're new to the show, I make no warranty about any of this. The magnetometer in the computer can pick up EM fluctuations. There might be any number of normal reasons for them, but sometimes they do seem to correspond to events that happen on the shows. So I don't know, you be the judge again, but it's kind of like our Doppler radar, our weather center, if you will, here in the studio. So I keep it up on the screen. It's like a storm tracker. I don't know. That's probably really stupid, but anyway, that's how my brain works. I do want to say tomorrow I'm going to be hanging out with Bigfoot Michigan Rob on his channel on YouTube, and you can look up Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube, and that's why you need a safe word. Amen, RJ. Amen. I'll be out with Bigfoot Michigan Rob's channel 10 a.m. Pacific time, so, right? Yeah, 10 a.m. So whatever that means for you in your time zone, if you want to come hang out and watch that show, yeah, it's 10 a.m. Right on. Yeah, absolutely. And so look for Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube, and you should find that stream. It'll be live at 10 a.m. As per the schedule as it stands. So, wow. Look at that. That thing just flatlined. This top one just flatlined now after I talked about it. Huh. It's like there's nothing going on. Usually it has little squiggles, doesn't it? I thought it was kind of like this one with little squiggles, but it's like flatlined now. Well, I guess we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't really pay a lot of attention to this until it hisses in my ear. If you hear a hissing sound like, that's this ghost radar, and that means it's detecting a very potent presence. And I don't know. Again, or at least a potent EM electromagnetic event. So I'm not saying, again, I'm not expressing that it's got to be paranormal, but it's, potentially paranormal. So anyway, watch for that. But yeah, maybe that top one just does flatline. I just don't remember it doing so completely. That's pretty incredible. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, they say they start with the ear nibble, tasty taste, and then crunchy cranium. Oh, that's twisted. Oh, crunchy cranium? What is this, zombies? Are we zombie in here? Brent, I asked BMR to make sure to ask you if you can make Sasquatch sounds again. Why? Oh, I never make Sasquatch sounds. I never do Sasquatch sounds. So I don't do like the Ohio howl or whoops or anything like that. So I'm not actually, to be honest, here's the thing. I'm not a real big fan of people making those. I can do Gollum and Smeagol. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. But I do Homer and actually, try to do several impressions, but those are probably the ones that but his Gollum is great. Thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll be with Rob tomorrow. So if you get a chance, yeah, hobbits, yeah. Stupid fat hobbits. Again, that used to freak Sheldon out because we went to see the Lord of the Rings movies and he loved it. But Homer as Gollum. Oh, now you're asking for a lot. You're asking me to mix them. I don't know if I can do that. I wouldn't do it live on the show. That could be a train wreck. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. Please stop. Don't you finish and get out of here. There you go, Justin. That's how it works. Yeah, I don't know. Brent, I thought you had the clip from Coast to Coast AM days when they had the Sasquatch yell. No, I don't think I've ever had that. You might be transposing me with someone else on that one. I don't remember that. You know what clip I do have? And I'll play it for you. This is very disturbing, though. It's something I play every once in a great while here on the shows. Listen at your own risk, but if you're wearing earphones, turn your volume down a little bit because this is shrill. There's a backstory on this, and this is apparently some kind of I don't know. Let me see if I can find it first. I always forget where I put it. I've only got like thousands of files on my computer through the years of storing things, but let me just see if I can find it. Maybe it's in here. Nope. It's not there. Oops, I went too far. Is this it? Yes, here it is. Okay, full disclosure. This is a file that I found years ago on the internet. I've actually heard it being used on other videos as cryptid screams and stuff, but it's not. Now, the backstory on this, and it was on a channel with very few viewers, but it was a paranormal researcher channel. Now, the story goes that the family lived in this house, and they were woken up regularly at night with these terrifying screaming sounds. And so they reached out for help. They just didn't know where these sounds were coming from. There's, every attempt to look into it, when they could get the courage to go down there, they couldn't find anything. But they heard these horrible screaming sounds. Now, this is a horrifying sound. I've heard it thousands of times now through the years, and it still bugs me. It's one of those sounds. So if you are one of those people that's easily freaked out by sounds, don't listen. Don't listen. I'll wave my hand when I'm done with it if you want to just turn down the volume. It is a disturbing sound, but the story goes the guy went there to research. He left 2 recorders down in this basement over a series of 3 nights. Night number 1, nothing. Didn't catch anything. Night number 2, nothing. Didn't catch anything again. Night number 3, apparently at about 3 a.m. in the morning, he recorded this sound. Again, I'm warning you, if you're sensitive, if you get easily freaked out, or if things like this might make you really uncomfortable, just turn your volume all the way down. I will wave when I'm done playing it. All right. So here's the sound. I'm telling you, I've heard it a long time, but it's disturbing. Here it comes. Okay, that's the sound. I don't know about you, but I don't want to see what made that noise. Whatever that sound is, it's like a mix of rage, anguish, pain, and horror. I don't know. It's just the most twisted compilation of sound I've ever heard in my life. Every time I hear that, it just gives me the Lulus. That was in a movie, Ray Harryhausen. It could have been. They could have been used in a movie. I don't know. But yeah, it's like pain, fear, anguish, all of those emotions wrapped into one. And that's the backstory on it. And again, I found this years ago on the internet. It's a stub toe. It's actually Don when he was heading to the bathroom one night. Stepped on a Lego. Yeah, that could be right. Maybe. But yeah, it's a demon pushing out a big one in the bathroom. I need it for my porch. Could you imagine that was your doorbell sound? Would that not get away? That'll keep the Jehovah's Witnesses away. Please ring bell for assistance. Yeah, we're not going to be here. Move along. Yes, that is the clip Coast to Coast AM used to play in the 1990s that Avira recorded and sent into the show. Super creepy. Okay, that's probably true, Grandizer. I didn't know that part. I just found it on my own on the channel where the guy posted it. So, and this is back probably in the, I don't know, it's probably 2017, 2016 maybe, right around the time that I first started the portal. And I heard that, and I'd heard it before, back long ago on the internet, and it disturbed me. And then when I found it again, I was like, oh God, this sound. So that's the only sound file that still to this day really concerns me, because I don't know, if you had that in your basement, I'd be like, hell no, I'm not going down there. Put in your earplugs, kids. It's time to get back to sleep. I just hope that it stays in the basement. Now, I'm not saying being afraid, but whatever's making that sound is just a twisted soul. And you're not gonna reason it out. You gotta just probably exercise it. If there is demonic infestations, this sounds like one. This sounds like what I would expect one to sound like. Just not the kind of sound you want coming from your basement. Absolutely not. So that's the sound. Again, that's the only sound file that I've played throughout the years. Yeah, that'd be messed up. Yeah, absolutely, Barbara. Brent, I think Duke may have some Sasquatch screams. He rarely plays them. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure what Duke has. You'll have to check out Bigfoot Radio, World Bigfoot Radio, to find out. Yeah, it's hard to know. I'm sure Duke has tons of files about Bigfoots. I mean, that's his world, so makes sense. The furnace sounds a lot like that. Who's your furnace? Your furnace sounds like that, Tommy. It's time for an upgrade. Oh, that's horrible. I'll get a howler monkey. Yeah, I've heard howler monkeys. They are loud. You're right. They are a very loud animal. I love the sound of howler monkeys. I think that it'd be interesting, and I'm sure it's been done, but it'd be interesting to take primate sounds like that and go out into the woods of North America and just see if you get any response from potentially Bigfoot out there or other creatures, cryptids. I don't know, because it would be unusual. And I think I remember Bigfoot's Finding Bigfoot. I think they played blue whale sounds one time, and I don't know if I can't recall if they had any activity off of that or not, but I think that's a real novel, interesting approach, is sound blasting various calls out into the wilds, things that wouldn't be familiar. Because I think when you're when you're investigating Bigfoot, you want to appeal to their sense of either territory or curiosity to bring them in, because I don't think you're going to, very often, not that it never happens, but I don't think it happens very much where you sneak up on these things. This is where they live. This is their home. They know. So you're probably not going to creep up on one, but there's so many cases with Bigfoot where they just love to come in and see what the hell's going on. And so you appeal to their curiosity or their territorial behaviors, and maybe that'll draw them in. I'd probably caution against the territorial challenges, but to each their own. I guess if you're really jonesing for some activity, that might be the way to do it. But I've never been a big fan of people calling out, like doing the Ohio haul, like, that to me, we don't have any idea what they're saying. You could be saying, Phil has a rash or something like that, or, or Don stubbed his toe again. You don't know what that means. It could mean anything. Can we get an update on Mr. Don? I as far as I know, everything's going pretty well. He's absolutely involved actively with his family situation. And so between that and work, it takes up all of his time. But yeah, your continued thoughts and prayers are always welcome. And I know Don appreciates that. But if I get any further updates, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Or maybe Don will stop in and let you guys know in the chat. But either way, yeah. Brent, nope. Do you know what that call was saying? Might be a mating call. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, you could be saying, "Hey, I got some beer on ice over here, ladies." You never know. You never know. You might be summoning trouble. I don't know. Love to Don. Thank you, Barbara. That's very sweet. I can't believe how stupid I was. What do you mean? What are you talking about? I hit a tree with a branch once, and moments later, a tree over in the valley fell over. Well, I'll tell you that tree knocking is a common research effort, and I think that that's fair because a tree knock is a tree knock. But okay, so here's my take on people mimicking Bigfoot howls. Like, I think they howl to each other over great distances for communication reasons, I imagine. And so, just think about your family, the people that are real close to you that you know. You recognize your children's voices, your spouse's voice, maybe even your neighbors and other people's voices. You know the voices in your community, if you're at all social. And I think it would stand out like a sore thumb when a person came out to mimic something like that. It'd be like, well, that doesn't sound. That'd be like me going to Japan and trying to play off that I can speak fluent Japanese, like, domo arigato. It's like, yeah, okay, nice try. You don't speak that. You don't know what the hell you're saying. And that would be right. But that's my take on it. And I could be wrong, but maybe it has worked really well, but it just seems like it's probably played out. If everybody's doing the L's, then that stuff gets played out. I mean, if they do check it out, they're going to be like, well, that was people. They're mimicking us now. And so I don't think that works repeatedly. Maybe if you went to a new area where people never were and you did a really good copy of a Sasquatch yell or howl, then maybe it'll bring in a curiosity. But once they see it's people, it's like, oh yeah, all right, I got you. So anyway, just my take on it. Weeboo? What's a weeboo? I always believed that tree knocks are done with a Bigfoot hand. Well, there is that. There's some people claim that they do it with their clapping, that they can clap so hard. Maybe. I don't know. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Okay, some people claim they do it with, rock clacking as well, that they'll clack rocks. I think that may be more of them using some kind of rudimentary tools to crack things open, more than them just walking around clacking rocks for the sake of doing it. But anyway, just my takes. All right. Mouth clicking as well. Yeah, Tommy, I was thinking of that as well. The old, that I'm sure that they do that. Maybe it has to do with proximity. Did I just hear Don there in the background? Can we get an update on how he's doing? I just gave an update. John, sorry. As far as I know, everything's fine. It's just Don is extraordinarily busy right now with helping out his family and keeping up with his own life. So that's the update on Don that I can give you. So any more information, I'm sure if you reached out to Don on Facebook, he'd be happy to fill you in with more details. It's just, it's not my place to, share people's information. So I know you guys know and love Don and that you're concerned, but as far as I know, everything is fine. It's just life has changed right now for him, and he's doing the right thing. He's there for his family. That's the best any of us can do, and he's making a noble choice that way. I know he misses being here and he misses being a part of this, but you got to do what you got to do. So, all right. Bigfoot probably can kill an elk with a slap rather than a punch. Yeah, I'm sure with that much strength, for sure. A friend and I are making our own creature sounds to go play it. That sounds great, RJ. I'd love an update on that. I will tell you that I've heard a guy took it was actually when I was over in Coloma with Duke and his team. We were over there, and one of his guys, Matt, he had taken it was like a hose from a vacuum cleaner, and he did these didgeridoo type sounds through it. And I thought, oh, that's fascinating. That's brilliant. I don't think we got any activity from it that night that I recall. I don't think anything ever was drawn in by that, but I thought that's a great take. That's a great idea to introduce a new sound that would be absolutely foreign that could appeal to the curiosity. So that was a great idea. He's being the big toe to the foot. Yes, he is. Absolutely. I only do listening. I don't do the noising. Yeah, listening is better. I think that's the best way. Hey, Jaron, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Jaron Daniels, one half of the Supernatural Station team. Good to see you. And I'll be seeing Jaron down in Vernal, Utah this year in September when Sheldon and I drive down and go hang out with Jaron and Roman a little bit and do the conference. Oh, I got to show you guys these. I just got these stickers made. So if you're heading to Phenomicon, I'm going to be giving away these. Huh? They're vinyl, so they'll stick on wherever, and they're supposed to be weatherproof. So, but there's a better look. I don't know. What do you guys think? Those turn out okay? It's kind of fuzzy, isn't it? Come on, focus. Well, anyway, that's what I know. Very cool. Yeah, of course, Barbara. You and Karen definitely get dibs. Any of you guys show up, I'll give you the bigger stickers. I'm hanging on to the bigger stickers for listeners. They're kind of small, but I just thought it was fun. Brent, was there a book on Bigfoot that you may have read in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that really stuck with you? Not that no. I never read any books on Bigfoot in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. So super cool. Need one for my car. You'll get one, Jaron. Absolutely, brother. You'll get one. But yeah, they're supposed to be weatherproof, so they'll last. I put one up out on my car, so it's on the back window of my SUV. So I'll be driving it down there. Across the other side of the window is Sasquatch Chronicles, and then the Paranormal Portal stickers. And then one for the Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed, their promotional sticker. Yeah, I got one of those too. Brent, I wish I kept note of those authors that I read in the 70s. Oh, well, I'm sure if you go look, I'm sure they're, like John Bindernagel, Renee DeHinden probably did books. John Green did several, I think. So that would have been about the 70s. There may have been others, but those are the ones that just come to mind right now for potential authors of books you might have read. So anyway, let's get to the cryptids because we got so much more to go. Uh-oh, I'm getting a sticker ideas. Oh, good. Well, absolutely. If you want to make a sticker, do that. All right. Let's get to the cryptids because we got cryptids to cover. What did I do? Yeah, this is the one I wanted, but this is what I wanted. Sorry. I'm not quite as prepared as I thought I was. Not that one. Oh, yeah, that is the one. I was watching Bob Gimlin. Appeared on Joe Rogan, and Wes posted it. And so I was watching that episode as I was prepping for the show. That's neat. Bob Gimlin, of course, is a pretty well-known YouTuber in the cryptozoology world and does a great show. Wes often posts his episodes when he posts new ones. But, yeah, he appeared on Joe Rogan, so that was really cool. I was checking that out. But here we go. Member for 12 months, Grateful Owl. Woo! You remembered. There we go. Let's get to the cryptids. Yes, giving viewers what they want. More cryptids and monsters. Well, I hope you want all the paranormal bucket of fun that we do. All right, I need Bob's autograph on a Patty photo. It's a different Bob Gimlin. This is the YouTuber Bob Gimlin, not Bob Gimlin of the Patterson-Gimlin film. And if you want a Bob Gimlin photo with his autograph on it, go to his Facebook page. They do sell them there. He does that with Lori and Russ Accord. Lori Zabo and Russ Accord help Bob do that. So, and I would recommend getting one if you can, because that is an absolute piece of history and signed by the Godfather himself, the Bob Gimlin. But this is a different Bob Gimlin, not Gimlan, it's Gyllan. So, all right, here we go. Let's get to the cryptids and explore some stories here. He is a nice guy. You're right, Karen. He's such a wonderful guy. And I got to tell you, it's having met and known Bob a little bit, and not I wouldn't say that, we're real familiar with each other, but having the chance to sit down and talk with Bob, and I did interview Bob on the podcast, and it was wonderful, and it was an absolute honor to talk to Bob Gimlin. But I'm here to tell you that he is one of those presences that is so genuine and so sincere and such a wonderful guy. And it breaks my heart that he keeps taking him on the chin for this, for all they did was capture this video evidence, put it out there, and, to show the world that this is going on. And, of course, Roger passed away quite a while ago, but Bob has been the only remaining element of that, and all of that BS that's going around periodically. And there's certain people I blame for that, because some people have been just creating these bizarre narratives out of this few seconds of film for years, and it infuriates me, because Bob is about the sweetest, nicest, most sincere, genuine person that I've ever met in my life. And it disgusts me that so many people want to create all kinds of these dramas out of his story and his experience. And it pisses me off, to be honest with you. I just don't think it's fair or right. And all of the idiots out there that are tweaking saturation and stuff and finding pools of blood and stuff, it's like, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you people? And it's, maybe it's other people's attempt to stay relevant by creating controversy. I mean, controversy is clickbait, and whatever. I'm not trying to get involved in something, but I can just tell you that I've met and come to know Bob, and I believe every word that man says. He is so down to earth, so sincere, so genuine. And I like to think that I'm a pretty good judge of character. And I'm definitely on Team Bob as far as the controversies are concerned. There's just no question. So his story's never changed. Yeah, absolutely. If he hoaxed, he would have given up way earlier, for sure. Why would he take so many years on the chin? And all of the crap and BS that he and his wife had to go through, to stand behind this. So, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy the amount of attacks he's had to endure for just being there and being a part of this incredible event. And for them to have the bravery to record it and then release it and say, look, here's what's out there. So, take it or leave it. Again, it's not my course or purview of the Paranormal Portal to convince people one way or the other, but all I can do is give you my personal opinion. This is where I stand on it. So when you hear people attacking their integrity and what occurred, don't just buy into that bullshit. Honestly, it's just disgusting. And at least if you want to know the truth, look into it. Talk to people that were there if you can, or at least look into different sources, because too many people just hear something and go, yep, that's what happened because that's what this person said. But he is such an incredible guy. And if you ever had the chance to sit down and know and look into his eyes, you would see a genuine, wonderful person. And so, but you be the judge. Anyway. Anyway, I'm sorry. That one just pisses me off. It just irritates the hell out of me because he's just such a good person. So, but you believe what you want to believe. All right, let's go. John Attitude, Brent, I don't think you seeing any of the YouTube comments like your app is not blending them together. Grumpy Owl member 1 year. Oh, yeah. That's John Attitude. The problem, John, is that this app that you see on the screen, I don't know how to show you, but next to me, this chat here, it only combines YouTube and Twitch and puts it up on the screen. I haven't figured out how to get the Rumble chat in there as well, so my apologies if I'm missing things over there. I do have both chats open in the screen in front of me, and I do try to look back and forth, so if I'm missing things, my apologies for sure. And Justin says he reads the comments all night long. Maybe YouTube is blocking your chats or comments. Well, I don't know. That's a possibility. If we're missing something, John, I don't know why. I don't know. I haven't turned off anything or set any filters, so I think it's me. I appear to be behind. And I was like 5 minutes behind. Oh, okay. Oh, is that you, John LaBella, over in Rumble as well? Okay. Yeah, sometimes that happens. If you refresh the stream, you might be more current. So anyway, let's take a look at it. This is the Cryptids. We're going to start with Sasquatch Chronicles. Of course, this is Wes Germer's site, which is basically the home page for Sasquatch Chronicles. And I say it every show, but I really mean this. Wes does a hell of a job keeping this updated and current, and works really hard to continue to provide content here for people that want to stop in and take a look. So please stop into Sasquatch Chronicles, and if you want to, you can become a member, and you'll get an extra Sasquatch Chronicles episode as a member, and more, because he's doing these cooperation shows with Tony Merkel of the Confessionals. After Dark is the name of the show that they do on YouTube. And if you remember, you get the link. So you can catch those as well. So anyway, let's get to this story. This is from August 13th, Something on the Road. And these, I love when Wes posts these. These are listener emails, people that reach out to him. And some of these become shows, some of them don't. But they're all great information, because I think every window we have into these cryptid reports is a glimpse into people's experiences, and there's always the possibility of either corroborating other pieces of evidence you might have heard or hearing a new take on things. So I love this. All right, let's check it out. A listener writes, this is Something on the Road. A listener writes, I was off-roading with a friend at Four Peaks in the Matzalotl Wilderness in Arizona. Can't believe I read that. Matzalotl. Okay. My friend has a high-performance truck, and we were driving at a very fast speed. Well, I took out my phone to record a video of this jump, and he was about to hit it, and didn't think anything about it. And I posted a video on my story before I lost service. Well, I woke up the next day and look at the video, and you can see what originally I thought was a pair of brake lights way off in the distance. And it didn't check out because we were going up a hill. And like I said, we were moving very fast. So we would have caught anybody on that trail, even if they were a distance away. Well, I rewatched the video probably 20 times after that and slowed it down to see if I could get a better look as to what it was that I saw. After watching it as many times as I did, I'm fairly convinced it was a creature that was in the path, and the red taillights I saw were actually their eye shine. I can't say for sure that this is a Bigfoot sighting, just wanted you to look at it. And thank you for putting on a good show. Well, here's the video. So I guess we should have a look, see what's going on. Again, watch the path, watch for what looks like might be taillights, but is believed to be eye shine. So let's take a look. I got to mute that because I don't want a copyright strike. I thought I did see a glimpse there. Right up in the, here. There. I'll try to frame by frame it here. Hold on. I'm going to frame by frame this and we'll take a look going backwards. If you're ever on YouTube, if you pause a video, you can use the comma and the period to go backwards and forwards frame by frame. Just to let you know, it's a great way to try to break down these videos. Let me really blow this up. I don't know if that's as visible. I guess it is. I guess it still is. It does look like something's here as we're going backwards, and I wonder if that's where the eye shine is. Becomes visible. Let's keep going. There it is. Yeah, that's crazy. Right there, it does look like two red dots that are pretty close proximity to each other. Like something ducks down, right? Come on, go backwards. Waiting for it to catch up. There it goes. Huh. I guess it's there's a motion blur. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good capture because it just looks like two dots very close to each other, like eyes would be from a distant figure if it was generating eye shine. It's a little laggy. There it is, out of frame, going into frame, going forward now. So it looks like it's kind of ducking down or moving out of the way. Getting a little lower. I think the perspective is changing as the camera level changes as well, but I just want to see when it kind of blinks out. There it is. There to there. So it does look like it's in the foliage on the side over here. Like this is the edge of the road. It appears, and then it just kind of ducks down here. So you can't see it. It's not like it's really bright. Let me go backwards here. Let me go back. I mean, it's very faint, but you're looking at this right here. This is the alleged eye shine, and I'm circling it with my mouse. So if your window is smaller, if you're looking on a cell phone, it might be hard to see, but it does look like it might be a muted eye shine or some kind of red reflection anyway, but it does look like it closes its eyes or ducks down a different direction. Yeah, it's just very faint. It's not like it's really brightly glowing, but I'll keep going backwards here. Look by my mouse pointer. It's right above that. And yeah, here it is right here. But it looks taller here, like it's As I go backwards, it's like it's more standing erect. There's the motion blur coming here. There's the motion blur. And this one you can see much more, but this is it. Because of the motion blur, it makes it more visible. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think it's potentially something going on. Boom. Let's do it again. Boom. Okay. So that's it. Yeah, something is definitely there. You're absolutely right, Wizard. Yep, it does look red. So it's just very interesting. Whoops, that's off frame. I don't know if this is on frame yet. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. My computer's not as responsive as I wish it were. There, it comes into frame right there. Right on the edge where I'm circling is where it's coming into frame. So I'm going to go frame by frame forward again. Boom. Okay. So now it's there, right at the tip of my pointer on the screen. You can see it right in there. How low do they get crawling? Well, the spider crawling that people report is really like, God, there's a sketch out there that I guess is pretty accurate, but let me just change camera angles here. It's like they're down with their hands and feet spread out like this and crawling in like a spider, and maybe their elbows are even higher like this. I don't know the body mechanics for it, but it's really freaky looking. I guess that's what Wes and Woody, his brother, witnessed when, you know, they had their sighting, was the spider crawling. And Wes was talking about that before anybody else. And he mentioned it. He's like, you know, it didn't, you know, and Tony Merkel and Wes just got together recently and did that. And you can go to Merkel Media or theconfessionals.com and find more information about that documentary that they put together. But Wes takes Tony up into that area and explains what he saw and how it looked. And then they end up finding an abandoned vehicle where a guy went missing as well in that same area. So it's kind of many levels of creepiness, of course. But again, if you at least catch the trailers of that video, you'll see the look on Wes's face. It's like, you know, and knowing Wes, he's not like this squishy person. He's, you know, he's like every guy's guy. You know, he's just one of those guys. It's just, you know, he's not the timid type, you know. So to see him looking like that, I'm like, man, I just want to get out of here. It's just still there in his, you know, it's a part of him, this experience. So it's a very, very strong emotional, visceral reaction if you watch that video. So I have no doubt that was an incredibly terrifying event, but we'll continue going forward here. Again, the eyes seem to be going down. There's a bit of a motion blur there and there. And then they kind of look like they're going lower. And then it's like maybe it closes its eyes. Maybe it turns its head to scurry away. But it's still there, just on the edge of the headlights now. And then, boom, it's just gone. Between there and there, it's just gone. And that's it. And that's the clip. So very cool. It's a good capture. It's a very rare capture. It's always just enough to prove it to you and enough to make you look like a lunatic to most people. That's a good point, Tommy. I mean, that's a great take. It's, you know, nobody gets the Patterson-Gimlin film again. In fact, I'm absolutely convinced, and I've said this all the time on this show, but I think the next Patterson-Gimlin film is going to come from a dash cam. That's going to be the next great Sasquatch film, is going to be on a dash cam, because road crossings are some of the most common sightings that people have. So as dash cams become more prolific and utilized, then I think somebody's going to catch that footage and go, check it out. Here it is. And it'll be great because, you know, you'll have scale objects like trees next to a road at some point where you can measure and, you know, figure out how big things are. Because, you know, I'll say for the Patterson-Gimlin film, the controversy over the height of the being was, you know, has been going back and forth for years. So Some people say 6'5", somewhere in there. Some people say over 7 feet. There's quite a variance there because, you know, I mean, it was on that 16 millimeter film and that was it, you know, or whatever it was. I think it was 16 millimeter film, but it's not like you could just rush back up there and do some size comparisons. They just caught it on film and got some casts and that was incredible. But now we like to have objects for scale and things like that to get a better idea. So I think on a dash cam, like if it's going over a railing on the side of the road, well, it's easy to go back to that railing in that area and see how tall it is and then use that as a scale to figure out how tall the creature is. So I think that's, AI is only going to get better. Yeah, it is. You know, AI, Brent, we don't see the video right now. No, you don't. Oh, sorry, I'm on the big screen. I don't know. It was just the same thing. I was just played it back and forth a little bit. Oh, Spirit Walker. Very cool. Thank you very much. Glad you stopped in and thank you for becoming a member. So my mom gets fooled by AI all the time. So does my grandma. Something about it still seems, I went off screen here. Something about it still seems off to me, so I can usually catch it, but pretty soon won't be able to catch the difference. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Brent, what we need is footage of like stories we used to hear where travelers would come across a baby or something out in the middle of the road. That was unnatural. Yeah. If I find footage like that, I'll be happy to show it to you. Hi, Miss Cindy Goodbreak. Good to see you. Wonderful you stopped in. Ladies and gentlemen, Cindy Goodbreak is a longtime friend of mine. She's a Bigfoot researcher. She's been at this for a long time. Great to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Are you going to Vernal this year, Cindy? Down in Vernal, Utah? Let me know. That'll be in the beginning of September, so it'd be great to see you down there. I know Cindy's made the journey a few times too. Come on over. Yeah, you got stuff popping off over there? She lives in the area up here, and she actually went with Don and I to check out a structure near here, and we actually found what I believe is a footprint. Well, let me know if you're going to Vernal. Yeah, it'd be great to see you down there. But if not, I'll see you sometime. I mean, you don't live that far away. It's crazy that we don't see each other more, but, you know, perhaps we will. Let's make a vote. Where will the next big Sasquatch be captured, like Patty? I think Texas this time. Well, you got a good shot in Texas, that's for sure. But honest to God, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere because, again, with Bigfoot, the one thing we know is that there's only one state in the U.S. that doesn't have claims of Bigfoot, and that's Hawaii. So there's sightings claimed in every other state in the United States. I'm not talking territories, but just states. I don't know if there's anything in Costa Rica or not or whatever, but yeah, for as far as states are going, Hawaii is the only one that doesn't have active Bigfoot claims or sightings. So pretty crazy stuff. Could be anywhere, but Florida is a good bet because the population of claims coming out of Florida is pretty huge, and there's a lot of population density down there. But Texas is a good shot. They have big people, though. Where in Hawaii? The Polynesians? Polynesians are pretty beefy, big people. They can be. Anyway, I'll have West Texas covered till I move. Well, let us know if anything pops off down there, RJ. That'd be great. So, God, it's already 8:48. I guess we better get to the next article. We're cruising through it. Oh, that was nice. Wes posted Bigfoot and Dogman, the most recent podcast episode from the Paranormal Portal. So if you haven't checked that out, you can find them over there or go to paranormalportal.net. Thank you, Wes, for posting that. I did pull it up. There's the Bob Giblin thing. I just got to see, where are we at? Sasquatch Chronicles. Here we go. This one is probably going to take up the rest of the show, but we'll read this one. This is coming from August 6th, Carlisle, Ohio, rather. I got island stuck in my head because of Hawaii. So let me take a drink here and wet the whistle. Wasn't there a dash cam video in winter of a Bigfoot rushing across a road in Russia or somewhere in Europe? Yeah, there was in Russia. That was a Russian clip. It was very brief, and as far as I know, no size comparisons were ever sorted out. It does seem like it could be legit because it seems like they're kind of out there on the tundra in that footage. And I don't think it was from a car. It might have been from a car, but I thought it was maybe from some kind of snow vehicle or something. But anyway, yeah, there is a clip of that. There's a dash clip from a police cruiser of a shadowy Bigfoot crossing a road at night in the U.S. here somewhere. I don't remember where. There's many clips out there that could very well be the real thing, but they're just not. I mean, we kind of got spoiled right out of the gate from the Patterson-Gimlin film, because right there, it's like you can see so much, and it is not blurry, and you can make out muscle details and so much from that footage. And now if we don't see that, I don't know, it's just probably hoax. And maybe it is. I mean, there are certainly plenty of hoaxes as well. But, you know, it was like we got this incredibly concise footage from both the Patterson-Gimlin film and the Freeman footage. By the way, I got to say this, because this I just received. As you may know, I recently was down in Pocatello, Idaho, at the conference down there, and that was Sasquatch Rendezvous, hosted by SasquatchPrince.com. And if you're ever looking for a Bigfoot shirt or something, SasquatchPrince.com, he's your guy. Brandon is a great guy. And my booth was right next to Michael Freeman, and he sent me a book. There it is, Freeman Bigfoot Files. And this is available on Amazon and all over the place. But you can go to Michael Freeman's Facebook page, and you can order it right from Michael. And then if you do, you might get it signed. I'm just saying, you might. But yeah, Michael and I hung out for that conference. So, but the Freeman footage is another great example of, can't get in chat, Spirit Walker, but Wyoming has Bigfoot. For sure they do. Yep. Absolutely. Why can't you get in chat? I don't understand, Spirit Walker. I can't get in chat, but Wyoming has Bigfoot. That's weird. Is there something going on with you not being able to type into the chat? If so, let me know. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate that. Film is the best medium. A lost one, though. Yeah, you're right. I mean, certainly digital is good and everything, but you know, it's really nice when you have film footage, because then it's easy to look at negatives and see if it was actually captured or if it was doctored digitally. Digital films are harder to substantiate than actual film is. But this book is really beautifully done. I would really recommend it. All right, I promised you one more article. By God, we're going to check that out now. But thank you, Michael, for sending that. Brent, name the top 5 ever Bigfoot videos. No pressure, Tommy. I would say Patterson-Gimlin, the Freeman films. I do like the one of the alleged skunk ape in the swamp. Well, that's pulling on like that kapok tree or whatever it is. That's a pretty impressive footage to me, because when you look at the body mechanics that figure is using, that person came up behind it and sees this skunk ape or Bigfoot figure kind of in the water in the swampy area, and there's this tree there. It's kind of a semi-rotten tree, but it's not soft. But if you look at the body mechanics of how it pulls apart this tree, I find that absolutely fantastic. In that, so the back is to the camera, but it grabs like this and pulls out. And you can see the way that the figure braces for that pull. Now, if we were pulling as human beings with our physiology and our body structure, this is not a strong pull. This is a hard pull for us. But this creature grabs it, and you can see it kind of lean and pull, and then you hear this pop as that wood breaks free. Now imagine it's digging through this stump looking for grubs and other things to eat. But I think that that's an incredible video, because the mechanics of it are just not right for a person. We aren't strong like this. Not enough to, lean and pop off of, a piece of rigid wood. I think that one is incredible. What's another one? I love the the leaping Bigfoot out of Russia, where this guy and this kid are up on this mountaintop in Russia somewhere. Might have been in the Urals. I don't know where it was, but they pan over and there's this Bigfoot kind of hopping across, goes behind this big pine tree, and then as it hops off into the distance over the incline, its arms come out, and you can see how wide and long those arms reach, and that one is really incredible. Well, that's 4 of them. What would my 5th one be? I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on a 5th one right now, but those are my top 4 anyway. Yeah. So I don't know where the 5th one, if anybody has a recommendation for that one, but yeah, I think those 4 videos to me are absolutely impressive. The Freeman footage by the Patterson-Gimlin. Thank you. the Bigfoot in the swamp, and then that hopping Bigfoot. I don't know. Where's another one? I don't know. Yeah, that's my top 4 anyway that I can name right now. But yeah, thanks, brother. Let's get to this article and then we'll wrap it up. So this is from August 6th. Carlisle, Ohio. I almost said island again. I don't know why. I guess because this looks like Isle, I-S-L-E. So that's why I keep defaulting to that. A listener writes, I just recently listened to episode 916. What does that say? Butter Street Monster? Due to me living down the road from that area since I was 13 years old. Well, now I'm 36 and I live in Germantown, right off Butter Street. I take that road every day to and from work. I transferred schools to Carlisle, Ohio in the 7th grade and lived off of Martz Paulin at the time of my sighting on Morning Star Road. I bring up the story because Butter Street and Morning Star are extremely close together and are surrounded by the one wooded area and metro parks. Around 2008, I was driving down this road called Morning Star Road in the middle of the night and witnessed what I can only imagine is Bigfoot related, or a guy in a very expensive Halloween costume. Background history of Morning Star Road, local town stories of people being killed at a campsite on the road in the 70s. Never really found any evidence about that part, but there are some spooky spots on the road, and some areas even now I would avoid at dark. Other stories from the road are an old house burnt down in the woods where the wife was running out in the middle of the road and was hit or fell down the stairs and broke her neck, whichever side of the story is true. I have no idea. Which me and my friends are able to locate and find burnt remains of the forgotten house. Then the notorious Bigfoot sightings throughout the years of this entire area. My stepmom was raised her whole life in Carlisle and recalls stories growing up of Bigfoot sightings along Morning Star Road and Twin Creek, which bumps right up along the side of the road. I recall my old English teacher who told me a story of her returning home from the store one night and seeing a creature, which she claimed was easily 7 to 8 feet tall, walking across the street from one wooded part to the other. Excuse me. Anyway, fast forward to my experience. It was dark and winter time, and there was snow on the ground, which the moon lit up and made it easier to see the wood line of the road. There's a few S-type turns on Morning Star Road that you have to really slow down on to maneuver safely on the road. Trees overlap these areas and make it really dark at night with only your headlights guiding the way, as any backcountry road is. While slowly going through one of the turns, there it was, standing in between a tree or trees connected that formed a Y shape, and it stood way taller than a normal-sized person and was covered in brown hair from head to toe from the angle we were seeing this at. At this point, we were going less than 5 miles per hour due to the roads being slick and the S-turns, so the detail of what I saw was burnt into memory. Whatever it was squinted its eyes and covered its eyes with its hand to prevent from the headlights blinding it, I assume. First thing I noticed right away was when the light shined on his eyes, they were a yellowish color, almost as if it had jaundice or something of the sort. The creature flashed its teeth a little bit as it raised its freakishly big hand over its eyes, blocking the light. The teeth didn't seem to be in the best shape, more browning yellow, but bigger than normal human teeth. It turns its upper body, and you can see the muscle definition in its back, tricep, and lats before it turned the rest of its body and began walking down the hill away from the vehicle. My friend began to freak out and scream while I began to yell, "Just drive!" My friend made it around the S-type turn and floored it home, which is only a minute down the road. And that image is forever remembered with clear detail. I tell this story all the time, and every one of my friends laugh at me, but it doesn't bug me. Me being an avid hunter, I think about this thing every time I step into the woods in the morning to hunt deer. It didn't show any signs of aggression, but still a sighting that spooked me. I always try to debunk everything that happens out of the ordinary, but this one has stumped me. Like I stated earlier, it could have been someone in a costume, but it would have been a very, very expensive costume, which I doubt that they had in 16 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, why would somebody be standing out there in the middle of a black winter night? I don't know. I mean, it's not impossible. It's always something you have to consider, I guess. But just think logically. It's like, well, nobody might come. What are you going to do? So I think if people are going to hoax something, they're going to do it somewhere where somebody's going to see them for sure. And kind of sitting in the Y of a tree in a snowy field or whatever, snowy area with woods all around, maybe isn't the best place to be seen. But anyway, I'm banging on my desk here. My mic is popping a little bit. Okay, well, there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed the journey. I really appreciated doing it with you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the portal as always. And snow makes things sound weird too. Well, the one thing about snow is that it makes everything really quiet because you don't have the bugs, you don't have the night birds or any kind of sounds that normally, are so prevalent in the summer and spring and in fall. But the winter is like dead. It's just this stillness in the forests, except for the wind. The wind you hear, and the creaking of trees is another thing. It's like, so I think it's a great opportunity if you can get out and safely go into the woods to look for things, because you don't have to worry about maybe a lot of the other predators that might be an issue. They might be much more dormant, maybe. Anyway, that's the show. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Happy hump day. First of all, you're almost at the weekend. I hope your week is going wonderful. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you to those who stayed up late last night and went through coast to coast with me. Just knowing you're out there really makes me happy. So that's awesome. And I'll be back on Friday night with Sheldon. We'll dive into the portal once again. So I hope you guys will be here and be a part of that. Please, as always, spread the word. Let people know about the Paranormal Portal. Let them know what we're doing here. Hopefully it's an enjoyable experience. Hopefully we can bring more people into the door and have a even more big and robust community. So at any rate, this is the show. So I'm gonna go kick my feet up, I guess. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Yeah, Maggie, smash that like for sure. I appreciate it, guys. And thank you to all of you over in Rumble and any of you over on Twitch. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey. And I guess that's going to wrap it up. So Friday will be back. Saturday will be back. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on both those nights as well. So just remember, there's 2 more shows this week. Blue Crew's popped in. Good to see you. Crypto Reality's YouTube channel has numerous video footage of 20 to 25 foot tall Sasquatch. Really? Goblin, humanoids, and other large, gigantic life forms in South Florida's heavily wooded areas. Interesting. I have not seen those. I'll have to go check that out myself when I have time. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up. So good night, everybody. We love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back on Friday night. Hopefully you'll join me then. But until then, arrivederci. All right, take care. That's it. I'm rolling the credits. I'm all done. That's all I got. Good night.